Alright, lesson 1-7. This should go pretty quick. We're going over how to solve one-step equations by multiplying and dividing. Same process we did lesson before in 1-6. Only now we're multiplying or dividing instead of adding or subtracting. One thing I do want you to take note of is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division property of equality. If you add, subtract, multiply, or divide each side of an equation by the same non-zero number, the two sides will remain the same. That's what we do when we're solving these problems. We're taking pieces, doing the opposite to isolate that variable. But this property of equality basically says if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other side to keep it equal. So make sure you have that property of equality down, and we'll move on to our first example. Okay, our first example says solve by multiplying. Our problem is x divided by -7 equals 15. So to isolate this variable x, we need to do the opposite of what's going on with that x. And we have x divided by -7. So we need to take that whole side and do the opposite of what's going on with x. We have x divided by -7, so we need to multiply by -7. If I do it to this side, I need to do it to this side. Times -7. So this multiply -7, divide -7, all cancels out, and I'm left with x equals 15 times -7. 15 times -7 gives me -105 equals x. I'm plugging that in to check my answer. Plugging in where x was in my original problem, I would have -105 divided by -7 equals 15. And when I divide, I would have a negative divided by a negative, which is a positive. I have a positive 15 equals 15. So we're good. Let's do an example where we solve by divide. And just checking my answer, 102 times 8 is 816. So we're good. Okay, let's say 1 out of every 5 people attending a concert came to support the local high school rock band. The band had 112 supporters. So how many people were in the whole audience? Alright, we are going to set this up with a variable, but this is also a proportions question, and I want you to pay very close attention. The STAR test loves to use proportions, so make sure you're familiar with how to set up this type of problem and how to solve it correctly. Okay, so we're going to set this up like equivalent fractions, okay? We want to figure out how many people we know how many people came to support the high school band, and we want to know how many people there were in all, the total number of people, okay? So we know 1 out of every 5 people came to support the local high school rock band. So 1 person came to support the high school band out of every 5 people. So 1/5 came to support the band. And we also know that the band had 112 supporters. So, figuring out where to put that 112, I need to look back at my key here. Okay, 112 came to support the high school band, so 112 goes on top, because that's where my high school portion is going. So, I'm solving for this missing variable. How many people were in the audience altogether? I'm going to solve for P. Okay. So, setting up equivalent fractions, whatever I'm doing here, I have to do the same thing here, just to keep it equal. So to get from 1 to 112, I would have to multiply times 112. And I'd have to do the same thing down here. So 5 times 112 would be 560. So there were 560 people in the audience altogether. There are other ways to set up these proportion questions. If you can come up with another way to solve this question and show me at the end of class tomorrow, I will give you a bonus point coupon. So you can go ahead and get to work on that. And I hope this answers all your one-step questions. We've gone over addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And be ready for two-step. And I'll see you in class tomorrow. Bye.